Hi, friends. It's Peggy from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today with my little Yorkshire Terrier, Ellie. And we are here to make cards with you. Let me just see if we have any comments here, and I'm going to check and make sure that we're live. Okay, it seems to say that we are. Okay, that's good. I'm glad to see that. Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. What are you licking about, baby? She's licking a little bit. I don't know what that is. Ellie today is wearing her pretty, hi Tammy, good to see you. Ellie is wearing her Valentine necklace. Linda, good to see you from Pennsylvania. And Hilda and Tracy, good to see you girls. Ellie's wearing her little Valentine necklace. Can you see it? It has a real sparkly heart. Very cute, and her red bow. She went out with us and did errands this morning. Anthony, good to see you. Cold and rainy in Granite Falls, Tina. I'm not surprised. Roz, good to see you. Yes, this is her beautiful necklace for Valentine's Day. We are drizzly here in San Diego. Drizzling, although they say that tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, you just having a little burp from breakfast. Tomorrow and Friday, it's supposed to really rain hard. So we're just enjoying the little drizzle that we're having right now. Let's see if we can prop you up just a little more like that. Anyway, she went on errands with us this morning, my husband and and I don't know, it kind of pooped her out. We got home and she was just tired, and she took a nap already, one nap, and had her breakfast. Yes, we need the rain, but definitely pray for LA, because it might, I don't know what they might be having. They usually get it first before we do, and it might be really raining up there today. They were very concerned because, you know, all the fires had taken away the green, the trees and the roots and everything. Becky, freezing in Pennsylvania, changing to snow later. Pam, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. And Linda said snowing lightly all day. It's winter. Yeah, it's just winter. And I'm so thankful that finally we in Southern California are getting our winter. We're all very excited. Yeah, that's right. Landslides, Roz. That's what they're afraid of because of their rain situation. I heard they were putting, you know, sandbags and stuff. So that's an area of concern. But other than that, everybody's just fine. We're doing great. Colleen, good. Sunny and 40 in Seattle. That sounds wonderful. That's the place to be. Sunny and 40. Oh, okay. Something special and fun happened to me today. I had to call demonstrator support. Those of you who are demonstrators know that if we have questions, we can call what we call demo support. We have a number that we get to call. And you punch in your demo ID number. We all have numbers, and it says, I don't know. Maybe it says if you're calling from the U.S. I don't know. The first thing said whatever it said, and I punched the wrong number by accident. And guess what? The most fun thing happened. I got Youssef in France. I know. It was so exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, Youssef, I think I hit a wrong number. I meant to get the US. You know, bonjour. Can you still help me? And he said, of course I can still help you. And so Youssef in France helped me with my question today, my Stampin' Up! Question, and he was so helpful. He was able to see everything on the computer system, and it was really exciting. I mean, we have Xiomara, good to see you. We have Anthony in London, which is my total excitement. And then I got to speak to Yusuf in France, and I ran back afterward to my husband. I'm like, honey, I just got to speak to Yusuf in France. And he's, yeah, I don't know, it didn't seem to mean that much to him. But it just kind of made my day. And now that Anthony's here on our live, I guess for other people, talking around the world is not that big a deal, but for me I just felt like it was a really big deal. And now that we have Anthony here too, I've just been all around the world today. It was quite exciting, and he was so sweet, just totally sweet, solved my problem, everything taken care of. So push a wrong number, maybe you might get Yusuf, who knows. It was just a crack up. I loved it. So that's my little fun experience. Okay, Miss Ellie wants to get down and go take her nap. That was my little fun experience. Kay, good to see you. And I saw that a few others joined while I was telling my French story. That was my French story for the day. Yes, very exciting. Hi, Marcia. So you all have sent me some gorgeous cards. Just a moment. I'm drinking a little mint tea today since we're having some rain. It just seemed very natural to have some mint tea. And I got a card from the Royal Mail in London from Anthony. And it's so pretty. I'm pretty sure it's like a Valentine card because it's beautifully red, and it came with a picture of York, I think. Am I correct? He visited York. Yes, a beautiful postcard of York. Anthony, you are so sweet. Thank you so much for this postcard of York. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your card. It's beautiful, from the Royal Mail. Thank you so much. Polly, good to see you. Then I got a card from one of my demonstrators, one of my downline, who was on our team meeting when we did the accordion card, and she sent me her card. Isn't that so cute? She did a great little accordion card. I know that all of you love that too. Oh, Roz, peppermint hot cocoa. Good for you, girl. Good for you. And then I got a beautiful, no. Yes, this is from Roz. This is the card I wanted to show from Roz. That is so beautiful. And I'm going to work on this and see if I can make it myself. You guys, check this out. Isn't this something? Look at how beautiful this is from Roz. Look at that. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna make it. I saw one similar to this, and I asked my resident mathematician, Dr. Robin, and I said, Robin, you've got to help me figure this out. She's like, oh, I tried that once. It was way too hard. So good for you, Roz. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna accomplish this fold. I am determined. If Roz can do it, I'm going to use her card as my sample. Thank you so much, all of you. Beautiful cards. And then I wanted to show you, I did post it on Facebook, my Facebook page. It's also on my blog today. We're having a blog hop. The pals are having a blog hop. I'm part of Mary Fish's pals, Stampin' Pretty Pals. And if you would like to become a demonstrator with me, you would be also part of Mary Fish's pals. And we have a wonderful time together. And once a month, we have a blog hop. You don't have to be a part of it. Only a few of us are. Oh, you want me to show the inside? Okay. Did I not show the inside? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that the inside? Yes? Yes. Maybe I didn't show it close enough. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. Is that what you wanted me to show, Roz? It is so beautiful, and you put it this way. Yeah, I couldn't. I think I was more excited about the fold. It's the it's the garden. Yes, and when you look at it this way, it's the garden. It's so beautiful. Okay. Want to get the whole card in there. All right, um, so when you're part of Mary Fish's Pals, you can, if you want to, participate in the monthly blog hop. And I wanted to show you my card for today. It's on my blog. It's also on my Facebook page. But one reason I wanted to show it to you is because I used this stamp set that we talked about the other day that I got. That's the demonstrators could pre-order from the online exclusives that are going to be released on March 4th to customers. If you're a demonstrator, you can order this now. Hi, Anthony. Yes, thank you so much with the postcard from York. Thank you. So I used that painted striped stamp set, and I just wanted to show you how you could use it too as a beautiful background. It was easy peasy. I actually did use my Stamparatus, or you would use a stamp positioning tool like a Misty. It made it much easier. So easy. Yes, maybe Roz would share the score measurement lines if she would send them to. Well, I can figure it out because I've got my trusty little ruler, and we'll do it. We're going to do it on here. I don't want to give Roz any more work. I can figure it out. Okay, let's see. I wanted to remind everyone about the starter kit special. That celebration actually only goes through the end of February, so we've only got, after this week, 2 full weeks. The starter kit special is usually the best one of the year, and you can get for $99 you can get $155 in product, and it all ships free, product of your choice. Or you can get a stamp set and 2 full packages of Stampin' Up markers. So, okay, thank you, Roz, but I didn't want to give you any more work. I can measure it out. You relax there with your mint hot chocolate. It sounds delicious. So I just want to remind you, and if you become a demonstrator right now, if you'd like to sign up with me and get the starter kit, you can pre-order all these things, and we're going to use something else today. You can get the product early. Okay, now I did want to give a little shout out. I went on the inventory status report like I usually did. Hi, Lori. Low inventory. Okay, low inventory. So if you want the everyday arch dies, jump on there and get them now because they're on low inventory today. And sometimes we have no idea what that means. If they only have 1 left or 100 left, we have no idea. But if you were thinking of getting these, I would jump on and get them today. Okay, I'm going to turn you down. Let me look at my little list. Okay, I think we're good. Let's turn you down here, and we will look at our project for today. Today's project is, the card is not as spectacular as the fact that I'm going to show you 2 techniques and something new. So this is the card that we're going to make today, and what we are going to use is something that I pre-ordered that we looked at the other day on Friday when I got it, from the new Botanical Textures Sweet Collection in the online exclusives, the Textured Notes dies. That, again, if you are a demonstrator, you can order them now. If you get the starter kit today or anytime before the end of February, you can order them now also. And they are these amazing textured rectangles. Okay, and we are going to make these frames. These are 2 individual thin frames that I'm going to show you how to make. Just so that you know, because I think that's something very fun to make with circles and rectangles and squares, but I don't know that I've ever showed you exactly how to make them. And I love the texture that we can see. Can you see? Let me hold it down just a little bit. so that I don't know that you can see it as much as I want you to, but hopefully as we go along you will. So we're gonna do that. And what we're also using another online exclusive item. Now this you can order right away. It's available now. The Mixed Florals bundle, which I've used before, which is so gorgeous. And we're going to use this today. And then we have to, because the Mixed Florals bundle doesn't have a sentiment, we're going to throw in a little sentiment from a Celebration stamp set. And we're going to use Just Because I Care. That little Just Because I Care, because it happened to fit right in that spot right there. Of course. Okay, so let's get started on our card. So we are going to use, also going along with the Mixed Florals today, the beautiful Mixed Media Florals Designer Series paper, which is so pretty. You've seen it before. And we're going to use some of it for our card today. I just love it. I keep looking at it and I thought, we are just using it. Linda, yes, I think these rectangles are an essential. I really do. And again, they're called Textured Note Dies, and I've got 3 of them out. But look at how many sizes. I think they're going to be classics for us. I really do. Okay, so we're going to start. I did as usual, which is to pull out the colors from the Designer Series paper. And one of the colors is Poppy Parade, which I don't use too much, so I challenged myself to use some colors I don't always use. And so my card base is Poppy Parade, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I just put in the score line. I'm going to fold and burnish that line with my bone folder so that it folds real nicely. And then what I want to do to pull out the blue in this pattern, which is the one I want to emphasize, I'm going to use the back of this paper. Kind of a shame, but we can use the fronts and the back. And this piece, I'm going to pull it all the way, I'm going to cut it all the way up to 1/8 of an inch. So the Poppy Parade is just a thin line around. So this is going to be cut at 4 1/8. And I'm going to pay attention because the other day I was in a conversation and I made a boo-boo, but I'm going to try to pay attention. By 5 3/8. We know that 4/8 would be 1/2. Okay, so we're going to go for 3/8. And that should do exactly what I want, which is come right 1/8 of an inch right up there. Yeah, just giving a tiny glimpse of that Poppy Parade. Okay. And I already know the size I want of this Flower Designer Series paper. In the back, I hate to cut this too because I love this. Vicki, good to see you from Arizona. But we're going to cut this piece, and I already know the size of the frame, and so we want this to be 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. And I keep looking to see, which is right side up. I don't totally know, but you know what? I don't really think we need to know. I feel like it's supposed to be this way, but I'm not 100% sure. So the first cut will go for 2 5/8. 2 5/8 right there. By 4 1/8 right there. Okay. And now we'll have all of our Designer Series paper cut, and we can start using go ahead and do our die cutting. Okay. Because I don't usually like to assemble things until I have most everything cut and ready to go. There's my inside piece ready to go for the inside of the card. Okay, I'm going to use some pecan pie, and this is our sample. I don't know why I used pecan pie. I could have used black because there is no pecan pie in here. But to me, a frame is wood. I don't know. I just chose it. black and black. There's black in here, but it would have, to me, it would have been too strong. Maybe I would like it. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and stick with pecan pie. Okay. So we need our full-size cut and emboss machine for this. And the other thing we need, because we need to, in order to make these thin size frames, we need to use some tape, which I don't always use, but I'm going to use this labeling and cover-up tape to hold the frames where I want them to be. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, put them close together like this. And what's going to happen is that will cut right in there a nice thin frame. That is my goal. So we'll put them cut side down, and then again my goal is to get everything kind of the space between the two equal. So let's move it up and kind of get it where I want it on the plate. And it's a little bit hard to do kind of from the side. Maybe I'll bring my arm over here. And then try to get the same space all the way around. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, that's pretty close, and I'm going to tape that down and hope that holds it. Okay, now we'll run that through. And this was one of my techniques I wanted to show you, is how to make a thin size frame using two kind of layered, size-wise layered dies. Okay, sometimes you might need to run them through a second time, so let's turn it over and see. I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time to make sure the cuts are nice and clean. Just going to do it one more time because I don't want any tears. Okay, like that. And let's see how that came out. And then I'm going to pull this off the tape very gently because I don't want it to at all tear the paper. Now this you can use later. And let me see, can you see that pretty design up in there? Okay, save that little piece of tape. And then in between the two, whoops, there's a little, that came from when I pulled it off and ran it through a second time, I think, that little extra piece. There you go. Can you see that pretty design? Isn't that pretty? Early espresso, Becky. Oh, okay. So that, I think, came out pretty nice. I like it. It's a nice thin frame with a design. Okay, and then we have this piece to use later on if we want to. I'm going to set that to the side. Okay, that's our first frame. And then I want to make a second one, a smaller one. And so I'm going to use the same, what was the inside frame, and that curled up a little on the previous one, is now going to be the outer one. And I got this smaller layered die there. And let's see if I can get that even. Just kind of like that. That looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, I have the two pieces. One. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, dear. I taped it to the plate. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we'll just do this. I don't usually do that, but we'll just switch the plates like that. That was my fault. Okay. And we're going to go. Hi, Judy. Good to see you. Rain, rain, rain in North Carolina. And then we're going to go. We'll just go ahead and run it right back through. All right. let's see how this one came out. Am I over here where you can see? And let's check out our frame here. Come on out. Okay, and there it is. And there are two frames. Aren't those nice? They're pretty nice. I like them. All with these new frames, these new dies. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do now. So here's our card. I think we can start doing a few things. And then this is the background piece that we wanted from the Mixed Media Florals Designer Series paper. We'll go ahead and put that down. And this isn't a real pretty frilly card like I usually make. It's more of, it's a little technique-y. Okay, now I pre-cut this piece right here because I knew what size I needed. And what I'm going to do is adhere it to my frame. So on the back of my frame, I'm just going to put a real thin layer of glue. Very, very thin. And these dies have cut little lines in here. It kind of almost, you would say, embosses very beautifully to get the patterns on the rectangles. So we want to be careful not to put too much glue. And just press that down. And again, that size of Designer Series paper was 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. But what I did is I measured the completed size of that die and I just went in 1/8. Okay. So my goal is to do something like this. To do that. That's kind of the design. Okay, now the next technique that I wanted to show you is some easy peasy watercoloring. So I'm going to set this off to the side while we do a little watercoloring. And don't say, oh brother. Okay, I don't want you to say that because I'm thinking you might be saying that. But I'm going to show you something really super easy, okay? So this is our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And we're only going to need at most a half of it. So I'm going to cut one piece, a half of one sheet. I'm going to cut one sheet in half. I'm going to use a stamp from the Mixed Florals. I'm going to use this stamp because I want to soften those kind of harsh frames a little bit. And so the stamp I'm using is this leaf, and I'm going to stamp it in black because, as I mentioned, we saw that there is black here. And if you notice, what we're going to do, this is actually, I believe, if we talk to the person who developed this Designer Series paper, I think they would say that they did the outlining and then they watercolored. So we're going to replicate this watercoloring. So we're going to stamp this in black. I'm going to do it 2 times because I want to, actually I'm going to keep that upside down and stamp it this and put the ink on this way. I want 2 leaves, 2 stems of leaves. So I'm going to do 1. And then I'm going to do 2, and then we're going to lightly watercolor it to try to mimic what they did on the Designer Series paper. Okay, there we go. Easy. With me so far? Okay. Now, here is the part that's not hard. Okay, 2 small blocks, block B. We're going to use two colors. Why? Because I looked over here and I looked at the colors that are in, we know that are in the designer series paper, and there's Shy Shamrock and there's Mossy Meadow. So you see these leaves? This is not super, if you look closely, this is not super neat watercoloring at all. No, not speaking badly at all about the artist, but this is just the way this is done. It's just kind of very loose. So what I'm going to do is put a dot of Mossy Meadow here from the ink refill. Being very careful, trying not to get it on myself, because you know I don't like to be messy. So this is going outside my comfort zone here. 1 dot of Shy Shamrock ink refill. Put those out of the way. And then I've got one of the water painters, Stampin' Up! Water painters, and it's filled with water here. You fill it with water. And I'm just going to drop, you squeeze it and water comes out like that, okay? And then you just kind of mix it up. And then all I'm going to do is just very lightly, not even do a whole leaf and not really pay a lot of attention. Can you see that? I'm not really paying a lot of attention. I'm just putting a little bit of the Shy Shamrock on each leaf, okay? Because we looked at what the artist did, and the artist did not do a big deal. Okay, now let me just get a Kleenex here. I probably should have a paper towel, but a Kleenex is handy. And I'm just going to squeeze a little water just to somewhat clean off the brush. No big deal. And here I'm just going to get some Mossy Meadow. And then I'm going to come back in with a little Mossy Meadow and just put a little bit of Mossy Meadow in there. It doesn't matter. It's okay if it comes out of the lines. You just kind of tap it a little bit. Anybody can do this, okay? And it's even okay for kind of a clean freak like me who doesn't like to get too messy. And I'm just adding a little Mossy Meadow. And you don't have to fill in the whole space at all. And there we go. Now I think I might go back. These over here need a little more of the Shy Shamrock. I'm just going to add a little more of the Shy Shamrock because we want both colors to show like it does on the paper. Okay, done. Now later I will take this to my sink and wash that off. And later I will clean my blocks better at my sink. But I'm just going to blot that up now so I don't make a big mess. Okay, that's that. And now I'm just going to get out my heat tool. And I'm just going to hold this up and just don't mind. It's going to make a little noise. I'm going to dry that with the heat tool. And then you can turn it over and dry on the back also. That kind of helps. Okay. That looks pretty dry. Now, was that easy? Wasn't that super easy? And doesn't that look pretty and different even than doing with Stampin' Blends? It really is kind of cool. And now let me just find it here. We have a die. Here's the die that matches that exactly. So let me get up my die cutting machine. And we're just going to cut these little guys. And so what we're doing actually is we are making, and I might need to use the tape on this also, I'm not quite sure, let me see. But we are making floral pieces that are going to look just like the paper. So really, somebody who doesn't really know Stampin' Up and stuff and how we do things is not even going to know that we did these leaves. We watercolored them. Look at that. Isn't that just cool? Okay, let's do our second one, and then we're going to put our card together. Whoops. Put that down on the bottom plate. Okay. Let's get that just right. And this is then going to be the end of our die cutting for today. And I love the way that die fits so perfectly. Can you use blends on watercolor paper? You can, but I think you can, but I really don't know why you would, because the watercolor paper is pretty expensive. And blends work so well on regular cardstock that truthfully, I wouldn't want to spend my money to use it. You know, you could. I don't see why you couldn't, but just personally, I don't think I would want to. Just my opinion. I don't think I would want to waste my money. I really kind of guard my watercolor paper. I'm pretty careful with it. Okay, so now I'm going to glue. No, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I am going, let me check my time. Okay, we have enough time. I wanted to put, you know, you got to put a little bow or a little knot on things. You just have to. That's my opinion. You don't have to, but I like to add a little foo-foo, a little bow or a little knot. So I'm just going to add a little bit of linen thread. I'm going to straighten it out by pulling. And what I'm going to do is tie it up in this corner here. I'm just going to tie a little bow right up here. Just because I can and because I like to have little bows on my cards. And it doesn't take much of a second, and it really doesn't detract, I think, from the, it isn't too bold. It's just a little kind of a sweet little addition there, I think. And I'll straighten it out more later. Let me trim these a little bit. Okay, now we can glue this down. And so what we could be real fancy and do this, but I don't really want to. I decided to do it a little more traditional rather than angling the frames. I decided to keep them pretty straight. So I'm just going to be very careful. Try not to put too much glue, just a little bit of glue. Just kind of like this. Okay. And then we'll put this up on the left. Kind of like that. Okay. And then we have this one that I'm still not sure which is right side up or upside down. And I think right now I'll try to stamp my sentiment, which, as I mentioned, I got from Heart Shaped, because it says "just because I care," which is such a nice, really like that sentiment. I'm going to stamp it kind of right in that area, and I think it's a little easier to do before I adhere this other frame. Still in the black ink. A little concerned about getting it straight. That's not too bad. Okay, now we can go ahead and adhere this with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I told myself, excuse me, let me get a little tea. I told myself if I got that too crooked, I could always add a little piece of paper, with a sentiment and cover that up. We can always do that, right? Okay. And then here's the back of our frame, and we're just going to put some dimensionals to kind of lift this up so that it's raised up a bit. And you can just do your own thing. This is just what I did, but you've got all kinds of, you've got a couple new techniques to play around with here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tuck these little babies right in around there and just glue them on. We could just actually glue one. I don't know that we even need to, but let's, after we put the one down, we'll give it a test. We'll just tuck one up here like this. I just think they look so cute being watercolored because the colors are nice and bold. We did it a little bit strong. I'm going to trim off the end of this one and tuck it under like a little bit like that. Okay, whoops. We'll just put this in here. Not too much glue, and just, we could even have that one leaf kind of sticking out and over like that. Let me try to get that tucked up. Whoa, whoa, go back. Okay, there we go. I think that's pretty close. And then we have our little bow. Pull the little tails. If we want to, we could add a mini glue dot to keep that down. I don't know if I'm going to now. And then I have my envelope and my inside piece that I'm going to go ahead and stamp with that leaf cluster, I guess maybe you call it. I think it's kind of pretty. Don't you think that's kind of pretty? And as soon as this is done, I will give out the prize from last week. Here's our envelope. That looks real pretty on the envelope, I think. And then we'll just adhere this on the inside of the card. That's almost a surprise after we've been looking at all the blue and green, isn't it, when we see that poppy parade on, on the inside of the card. We'll just tuck that in there. That's where you're going to sign your name, and you could use your markers. You could use poppy parade markers or any of the colors that we've been using. And there's your card for today. And if you don't want to put a bow on, you definitely don't have to put a bow on. But that's the card for today. That'll be the prize for next week. And I think it was kind of fun to make those frames, and I especially really liked using this new frame set. I don't know where I put the case. Oh, here we go. Textured Notes dies. We're going to be using this a lot. Yes, we are. Okay, let's turn you guys up. And we'll see who won the card from last week, which was our B card. We had so much fun making this B card last week, and with his ribbon wings. Oh, Georgia, thank you very much. I'm glad you're in love with that card. I'm really glad that you are. I hope that my goal is always to teach you a little bit, some new techniques, some new things to do, and show you some new products. So that's what we did today. And on Fridays, I hope to do a fun fold. So I don't know if I can get Roz's card, and I don't know if I can learn that quick enough to do that, but we will try for a fun fold, okay? All right, so this is the prize for today, and the winner today is, I don't know if I've seen her on here, but Debbie Morrow, Morrow. It was her first time last Wednesday, and so I will try to be in touch with her and get her address. Debbie, if you're watching, please email me at peggy@prettypapercards.com, as I would love to send you this card. And I wanted to let you guys know, with the cost of mailing and everything getting so much, I have been tending toward giving my cards more than embellishments, and I'm going to do that more and more because it's just getting, I sent some embellishments to some gals, and it's just really getting to be, unless they're real small and they can fit in one envelope, you guys understand, with postage and all. But sending my cards, I love to do. Easy, not too expensive. So Debbie, congratulations. And you guys come back on Friday. We'll do a fun fold card, and I love to see you. Stay warm, stay out of the snow and rain, and I'll see you Friday. Okay, bye-bye.